people, we are back. It's your boy International Walk.
It's your girl Tosh, the co-hostess with the mostest.
And we are back for Act 2, the podcast, episode 125.
I did that so gracefully.
As I was saying, it came out like fluidly, yeah. Episode 125, and we are back for another week of Act 2 the podcast. Act 2 the podcast, Facebook, act2thepodcast.com, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Breaker, Anchor, Google, Spotify, Facebook, and YouTube is where you can catch our faces. I checked again this week, and we're still there. So y'all can watch us anytime you want. Get right to the show. How are you?
I am doing magnifico.
What would it be like?
Magnifico, fantastico. Muy bien.
Muy bien. Wow.
Mentally, I'm a 9.
A 9.
I'll say that. 9. Mi 9 trabajo.
Just talk.
Nuevo. I got a new job, y'all. But I'm in a good mental space just because I feel good. My husband is healthy. I'm healthy. We're in a good space, and I'm just truly blessed and grateful. And I refuse to complain. I don't have anything to complain about right now, and it feels good. Life isn't perfect. You looking at my hair?
No.
I look like Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear a little bit. I'll tell y'all about that too. But yeah, I feel good. So mentally, I'm a 9. Work is a 10.
Finances
is a 10. And work is a 10.
Okay.
Physically, I'm a 9. I'm a 9. I'm feeling good. Yeah.
That's nice. That's
so
nice.
I'm feeling good.
That's high numbers across the board. 9, 10, 10, 9.
How are you?
Mentally, I am a 9. Feeling sharp.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, I'm feeling sharp. I don't feel lagging in any way. I feel a little lethargic physically, but not mentally.
That's good.
Finances is a 10. God is blessing me every day, and I appreciate Him to the utmost. Work is a 9. Work used to be an 8. Work's getting better. Wrapping up a job, moving on to don't know where, but it's always good to keep moving on.
Have you ever had any jobs where you work by yourself for an extended period of time?
No.
Okay.
No.
You don't think you would like that?
I don't care. I'm cool by myself.
I know, but that's why I said for an extended period. I know if you got to do like a short-term job, but like let's say you had to go to work on a 3-month project by yourself every day.
I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
Yeah, just because of the labor that's involved in it.
Oh, gotcha.
Like, you better get some fucking help over
here.
Yeah. Like Superman.
Okay.
So work's a 9. Physically, again, had therapy today. Little lethargic, so physically I would be an 8.
They've been working you well.
Yeah.
What's your wows and woes this week?
Wows and woes is here for another week. God has blessed me. Just here for another week. That's my wow. I don't have nothing. I got a wow. My wife got a new job, and I'm super proud of her, and I'm happy for her. And that if it wasn't no bright lights other than living in the middle of the week, it was that. Get off my pen. But when I talk about you, I'm nervous. So. I'm proud of her, and I hope she does. I know she's going to do well, but that's a wow. It's a forward progression for our family and our union and what we stand for. So super proud of her. I'm super happy for her, and I know the new people that she's working with is going to love her. Woe? I don't have no woes. You okay?
Yes.
You sure?
You made me feel a little choked up.
What's your wows and woes?
So my wow is me having a new job. And also tied into that is just your support. You got some people who have had jobs for a long time, 20, 30, 40 years, and they retire. And it's all well and good, if it's a great job, that's what they want to do. my husband is one of those people. He's continually progressed in his career to get to the place where he is, and that's great. I've been of a different mindset, and that sometimes, he didn't quite understand me, but I am so grateful that he supported me, because that makes a big difference. Because I'm the type of person, I don't I'm not a jump all around type of person in terms of having new jobs. Like he said, forward progression is the key. And I just am appreciative of your support, even at the times that you did. I think you understand me better now, but I'm just appreciative of that. My woe, I'll tell y'all, real short and sweet. If any of my friends watching this and I talk about getting faux locks in my hair again, remind me of the torture that it is to take them things out. And I'll tell you this, the girl that did them, great job. She charges as much to take them out as she did to do them, and which I thought was crazy. But I understand why. Time and convenience sometimes is priceless. So that was just my woe, because that was a job, but it is what it is. Something trivial. I don't have no real complaints in life, so I'm grateful for that.
That's cool. On with the show. Like I said in the beginning, my wow is my baby got a new job. So new job, new task, new position, new people. What's going on?
Oh wow! So this he liked to put me on a spot. Without giving too many details about where I work and all that, in my new role, I am responsible for a team that coordinates community health outreach, marketing, education. Long story short, helping people to gain a better understanding of health insurance, how it works, engaging for enrollment, and just bridging the gap between the communities and health insurance companies. We know health insurance in general has kind of a negative connotation when people talk about it, because they think it's all about money. Guess what? It is. It's a business. Businesses are in business to make money and to stay in business. But it's like one of those things that we need in life. It's important in life. And so many people shy away from it just because of a lack of understanding. And I have worked in the health insurance industry for now 12 years. And this job, I said to one of my friends today, shout out to, not my husband is the penultimate cheerleader of my life. I also am truly blessed to have friends that and associates, acquaintances that support me on a professional level. And just shout out to them who have texted me, hey, how was your first day? Hey, how was your first week? Congratulations. Just it means a lot. Like my husband sent me something on social media. He's like, you didn't even see it. I haven't even been on my phone like that because I've been head down. I got a black and white composition book, y'all, that I'm taking notes in. Like, I'm really serious, and I just really want to do a great job. I say that to say, a while back, I had asked people, if they had a job that they were passionate about. Because, I love having a job, and I've always had gainful employment. I was great at the job that I had, but I didn't love it. And it almost, I'm sorry, I was saying to somebody today, it almost feels like I'm being punked, because some of the meetings and conversations that I am having, it's just crazy to think like this is my job. I'm being paid to do things that I volunteered to do because it was just something that I enjoyed doing in the past, under different pretenses. And it's like, oh, like that's my job. Like, oh, like you want me to show up at this women's empowerment event that y'all want me to speak for 2 to 3 minutes, and like I'm paid to do that. Just different. It's just an amazing opportunity that God has opened the door for me, and I'm just grateful for it. So, and not just for myself, but I'm grateful for being given the opportunity to be used as a vessel to help the community. And when I say community, there's no specific community, just to help people in general.
This is like how long you been working in
at my current job?
Health and healthcare.
In healthcare since 2011, so 12 years.
So 12 years you've been working in healthcare, and you've had what, three, four different like
I've worked at
positions?
3 companies.
Right. So you worked
But
at 3
I've
companies, but
had
how many positions? Real
1,
quick.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is my 8th position.
So 8 positions, 12 years, 3 different companies. Change for most people, changing jobs is usually apprehensive to them. You seem not to mind. Why?
I just trust God, and I know that sounds so cliche, but it's when we watched the interview the other day with my good sis. I can't call her my auntie anymore; we're too close in age. But my good sis Tabitha Brown, and she was saying she doesn't.
What's up, Tab?
She doesn't do anything without prayer. And when I tell you that I am apprehensive in some instances, especially the initial application process. Like I may look at a job, think about a job. Do I want a job? I question whether or not I can do it, even though I know I can. And all that, I stop and I pray about it. God, if this is for me, let me know. And there's been times that I didn't apply for a job and I just felt like, God, that wasn't for me. Or it's been times that I have applied for a job and didn't get it, but I still learned from that experience. But that's what it is. I pray about it and then I just trust God. And also I have learned to have faith in myself. Like I can do that. Well, it's funny when people say, I gotta be careful with these jobs that I apply for. They need me to show up on Monday to fly this plane. I got this new job. It's funny, but it's some truth to that. Where oftentimes we apply for jobs that we may not be 100% qualified for, but give yourself credit for the 90% and be prepared and open to learn that 10%, because sometimes we cut ourselves short. There are a lot of people at positions way higher than us that are unqualified. One of my friends today, I was talking to her, and she's in the process of finishing her degree. She has a great position, and she's not just my friend, she's one of my professional mentors, and I really run some stuff by her, whether it's like, I gotta send this email, let me send this to you, make sure you know what, and she's just a great person in that respect. She's finishing her degree and she's like, I'm in a room with too many people that are unqualified, but because they have degrees, they have the positions that they do. So we sometimes sell ourselves short. I used to be very hard on myself because I never finished college, and people will be surprised at the positions that I have had and have now. And this ain't about like throwing money in nobody's face, but about also the money that I make. And I have an associate's degree. Let me not shade that because I worked for that. But I don't have a bachelor's degree. I don't have a master's degree. I don't have that higher level education. But I work my ass off. And that, I think, is what stops me from being afraid, is trusting God and trusting myself.
Betting on you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and guess what? At the end of the day, they can only say no. And another thing too, just really quickly, like I said before, I don't just apply for any old job. I really think about, is this something that I want to do? Am I just running away from a job that I hate right now to just apply for any old thing? That's not the way to move, because when you get there, you're going to hate that too. Then what's next? And in most companies, you usually are locked into a position for 12 months. So it's like, or if you're unhappy here, don't just apply for something else and be stuck there for 12 months. At least you know what you're doing here. Wait it out and kind of, see what your options are. So yeah, those are the things that help me.
You spoke about like, I'm older than you, and people would say we're of the same generation. But I'm older than you and have a different mindset, a more traditional mindset. Is it a generational thing to jump from job to job? No negative connotation.
It is. And I think, yes, you're older than me. We're kind of the same generation, but I think I'm kind of on that cusp where I do have that. I have that mentality in the sense of longevity at a company, but loyalty to myself, because I realized through my experiences, whether personal or just observing, companies going to be loyal to them. So I think it is a generational thing where, the generation maybe at the tail end of ours, including you and those a little older, and then the generations before us, they were like, you got a good job, you keep a good job, you ride it out, you all it's good, you be good.
Yeah, because for some people like myself, if you have a job that you start out making more money than you supposed to be making for that position, and then you want it so bad that you work your way up to the top position in a company to get yourself to a six-figure salary, and it's like you stay there and ride that out and do those things and grow in the company. You took a different approach to get yourself to a six-figure salary, where you was like, I don't want to work here no more, I want to do this, I don't want to do this no more, I want to do that, I don't want to do this no more, I want to do that. And not all of them were forward moves. A few was lateral. None was ever, backtracking.
Well, the first was a backtrack, remember?
Yeah.
And
I
will, and my husband, again, this ain't about dollars and cents, but we had to have a conversation because I took an $8,000 pay cut to say, you know what, I'm gonna step out on faith. But when I tell you, baby, that pay cut paid off, and now I have more, and I'm talking about since 2011 I have tripled what I was making at that time. So sometimes you do have to evaluate the potential. One of the things you always say about people is potential unlocked is, say it for me, I don't want to mess it up.
Go ahead and try it.
Potential unlocked is the worst thing for a person. Like, it's the saddest thing for a person. I don't know, say it. I know it, but like somebody not achieving their full potential, it's a sad thing. Like, but so that's one of the things you have to think about. Opportunities. Looking at what's presented to you is one thing, but then you got to be forward thinking and what's the potential in this. All right, I'm gonna take these 2 steps backwards, but how will it allow me to take 10, 20, 40 steps forward? And you have to be dedicated to doing that. Now, not all opportunities will have that potential, but when you take them 2 steps backwards, you got to have that mindset to say, I'm not going backwards no more. I'm going. Sometimes you might sidestep, like you said, a lateral move, but it's on from here, because like that's a part of betting on yourself. I'm gonna bet on myself that I'm gonna take this loss and turn it into a lesson, and then let that be my blessing. Oh, that was bars right there.
That was bars. Different ways to bet on yourself.
Yeah.
I bet on myself in one, and you bet on yourself in a different way, a different path and road in one.
But let's not fail to mention this too. You have a career that is a very specific skill, trade, talent that you have that you love. So it's like a hairstylist being a hairstylist for 50 years. Well, 50 might be pushing it, but for 30 years. A teacher being a teacher for 40 years. Like, you don't expect them to like change careers. Now, they may be a teacher, and then maybe some kind of special teacher, and then maybe a principal. For yourself, you may be an apprentice, and then maybe a carpenter, head carpenter, superintendent. But again, you're in those fields that you love. Where for myself, it was a little different because I knew what I loved doing was working with people and helping people. I had to find my niche in that. And I think 12 years later, and even before that, because other jobs that I've had, although not in this industry, I've been a bank teller. I've been a 411 operator. So I've always had like customer facing roles where I've been helping people.
You deal with people, yeah.
Yeah, so I just had to find my niche and what worked, what I became passionate about. And that's,
I think when you got in healthcare, it was like you said, not having your degree and not finishing college. I think you had one foot in. And I think with your new position, you just stepped into both feet. Like
I agree.
Now you have both feet in the door, and it's like, now you in there.
Yeah,
So
agree.
Who knows? Like, you could be the director of something.
Yeah, and let me tell you, my one of my friends had mentioned this to me today because it's a small world when you work in certain industries. I asked you, was it like that in the construction industry? And maybe it's not. But in the healthcare industry, it's oftentimes that you'll hear people like, I worked at one company and went to a different company, and I found out there was a lot of other people who came from that company. Then I went to the company I am now, and a lot of other people came from there, and so people know each other. Today I found out that my manager, she was like, you just look so familiar. There was some partnership between the old company I worked at, and she used to do site visits there. She knows some of the people. She was asking me about very specific people I used to work directly with.
Mm-hmm.
So, the timing was a little bit off, but we may have passed each other. Then not only that, there are people that I'm in meetings with now that are my peers, or that may report to me, or that I may, there may be some reporting structure that leads up to them, that I've been in meetings with them in the past. And it's so important how you interact with people. Not saying you got to be phony, fake, or anything like that, but just represent yourself in a way, because you never know when paths are going to cross. It's not about when you're going to need somebody, but it's you never know when paths will cross.
What new challenges does this create for you?
It's very independent. In the sense that, I have tasks to do, I have partnerships to build, and I have to find the way to that will work within my time management and work-life harmony, because right now, I'm 100% remote. My job is still 100% remote. However, I may have to visit a doctor's office, or, I may have to go to an event at a community-based organization. So time management, work-life management, and then just learning. I am a sponge, and I'm never coming to a place as a know-it-all. I want to be able to offer what I do know, but one of the things in leadership that I've learned is a 30, 60, 90. I think I've talked to you about this before. For the first 30 days, I just want to learn as much as I can, take in as much information as I can, be able to see how what I already know fits into, but you don't go into a job trying to change anything. You learn first. Then the next 30 days, which will take you to the 60 days, that's where you kind of say, okay, are these the best processes? Is there anything that maybe needs to be changed? Is there anything that I can offer that isn't already here? Are there things that we can do differently? And then the next 30 days, which would take you up to the 90, you evaluate, you assess, what was done in those days. So right now I'm in that sponge phase, and I love learning new things. Like, I'm just open to it. I want to learn as much as I can. So the biggest challenge for me right now is, although I know a lot and can offer a lot, I don't know the processes. So just going through that learning, I'm going to have to do some independent learning, like research on, just geographical, demographical stuff, about the industry. So the independent portion of it. Now, don't get me wrong, I ain't gonna be up late at night with my laptop, because again, work-life harmony is important, but the independent nature of it, which I love the flexibility, but it adds pressure, because it's like going from high school where, your teacher's on you, the bell's ringing.
To college where you're responsible for yourself.
Exactly.
Wake up for yourself, get to your classes yourself, learn yourself.
Yeah.
If you ain't got no notebook and pen to write notes down, oh well.
That's on you. But when they ask the question, you need to know the answer. So and I'm okay with that, because, I'm a person that I don't BS at work when like it's time to do my work. And that's another reason too, just going back to the last question, when you talked about the generational thing. And this might be a little bit of that, like I said, on the cusp of, the generation under us and the generation over us. A little bit of that ADD, ADHD sets in, where I can't feel stagnant. I'm not at a position in life yet, in terms of age, where I'm just going to coast out on the job. If I feel stagnant, I gotta do something else, because that's when I'm going to start BSing. That's when I'm going to feel like, I don't feel like doing this. Because mentally I'm not stimulated. Now, I don't...
You can't go backwards in questions, though.
I know, like I don't want to be, and you mentioned this to me before too, and I keep that in mind when it came to thinking about what jobs I may look for or apply for. I don't want a new job. I don't want to take on the stress of a new job, but I do want to be stimulated by a new opportunity.
What's the scary part, if any?
Um.
If it's not any, then it's not.
Yeah, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. I'm excited. I have a lot apprehensive, but excited, attentive, tender.
A little tender.
Yeah, but I'm not afraid in any way. I'm just full of vigor. Is that a good word?
You like you drank some with ginseng,
vigor,
vitality.
Yeah.
That's good. Again, I am super happy for you. I know you're gonna do well. I pray that you manage your work harmony life, work home life the way you're supposed to. If not, I'm gonna be up your ass. But I'm super proud of you. I am. I've been on this ride with you the whole time. So I've seen every job. I've seen the people you work with. I know the ups and downs. And although you had peaks and valleys, this is definitely one of your peaks.
So it is, and I'm extremely grateful. And I'm grateful for you again because, ladies, let me tell y'all this, and gentlemen, this is not just a ladies thing. One of the things that I had to learn about myself. My husband has been telling me for years, but I also had to learn this through, it really hit home through therapy. Oftentimes we have expectations in our mind of like how we want a situation to play out or how we want a person to react to things. And I've learned through my husband that you're going to set yourself up for disappointment because just because somebody doesn't, wave a bit, just because they don't react the way in your mind you think they will, doesn't mean they don't feel the way that you want them to feel, if that makes sense. So just
everybody don't have to show the same energy you possess to be happy as you are.
Yeah. And when I told my husband, not that he hasn't shown excitement, but he just wasn't as exhilarated as I was. But again, why do I expect him to be? It's me, it's my job. I'm a female. I don't expect him to be like, because that's how I was. And just hearing his words mean a lot to me because I want, not so much I want your approval, I want your support. I want you backing me like you always had. And that in of itself, like, I know I'm going to hold this down.
I know that you are. And again, I'm looking forward to see what's going on in the next chapter.
Thank you.
Next topic. Target loses $10 billion in 10 days.
Woo!
Over Pride clothing. Infant onesies have equality written on them in rainbow. My first Pride, born this gay.
Wow.
Yeah, for me, this is targeting infants, and I don't see how you can target an infant to promote gay leisure wear. And this brand is owned by the LGBTQ community, so I don't know how that
I think
works.
It's a couple.
Yeah, it's a brand, so it's owned by them. But I don't have no problem with LGBT people and that community. But I don't like the fact that you can easily just target an infant. Like, why should an infant be wearing Pride clothes? Like, why should an infant be? It says on a onesie, I love my two dads, or I love my two moms. Like, that stuff just didn't exist, and I don't think that you should target kids in that way. Everybody wants to be at a certain age before kids start making decisions. Now it's like we have clothing that is targeted a lifestyle towards an infant. So way earlier, when kids are 2 years old playing on these tablets and learning stuff, they're going to know about that. And let me finish. Let me get my shit off. Calm down.
All right.
And you're gonna they're gonna know about that, and it puts a decision in their head and sways them to how they want to be because of what they're learning. It's influence in their learning is what I'm trying to say. So me personally, I don't like having onesies with born this gay, or I love my two moms, or I love my two dads. What's wrong with the universal onesie you get from the hospital? That's been working for 100 years. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with the universal universal pack of white onesies? Like, that's fine. It's been working for years. Let's just not target infants. I think that's way too young.
I was with you in the beginning, but I 100% no. I'm not with you with all of what you said. There is a fine line. So I think about it like this. We can't just say, regardless of what your feelings are, and when I
my
say
opinion's my show.
I understand that. I'm saying, when I say regardless of what your feelings are, I'm talking about people in general, not you. Regardless of what anybody's feelings are about the LGBTQIA plus community, we can't say that if someone has a baby that has a onesie that says, I love my mom and dad, that's fine. Nobody's saying that's a bad thing. So if they have two moms, that's not the baby's decision, but to say I love my moms or I love my dads, I don't think that is, they're just acknowledging their parents. I will
give you that that's a parent's decision to put that phrase, because that phrase alone, I love my two moms, is not your decision. You're 6 months old and you have two moms. You were born into this world and so you got adopted. You have two moms. So, okay, I'll give a pass for that.
Yeah, like it's even if you say,
born this gay, my first
let
pride.
Let me finish.
Okay. No.
Even my first pride, you figure, okay, if a baby goes to Mardi Gras, okay, and they go to the Roots picnic, and they have a T-shirt that say my first Roots picnic, my first Mardi Gras, my first beach day, my first Christmas. Pride is an event, so if they have a shirt that says my first Pride, okay. I don't think that's influencing anything. It's making a statement. It's their first time doing that. To say born to be gay, or what was it? Born like gay. It was a play on born this way, born this gay. That I don't agree with. Because how do you know, not that it's anything right or wrong about it, how do you know the baby's going to be gay? Like, why are you projecting that? Now, the argument that I did hear against that, people say, well, what about shirts that say little heartbreaker? It's different. You saying that's like saying little heartbreaker, little troublemaker, something like that on a shirt is not. People can
those
say
are all negative connotations, though. Yeah. Although they seem innocent on the surface, they're all negative connotations. They're all things that people don't want done to them.
I understand that, and I get people's argument to say, how do you put that label on someone, but you have a problem with somebody saying born this gay? Because again, you're talking about sexuality. You don't know if that baby's going to be gay. That's just like if, somebody's, if somebody says, that's just like if a baby had on a shirt that said future husband and it's a girl. Are you automatically assuming that she's going to be trans and turn into a man and be a husband?
What about a rainbow onesie? Is that still the assumption that the baby is being gay, or is that just a statement that?
That's just I don't take that. This. Yeah, because if their parents are, or it don't even have to be anybody in their family. If they're just in support of it, again, they're putting that on the baby. It's not putting a label to say, oh, my baby is gay. It's just like if a straight man walked down the street and wore a rainbow shirt, it's just showing support of. So that's why I think there's a fine line, and I think there are statements that can be made, but the labels being placed on the babies are what is troublesome to me. To say born this gay, I don't think is appropriate. To put a shirt on a little girl that says future trans husband, it's like, how do you know that that's this little girl's destiny?
But I align that with if you put a rainbow onesie on the baby. Like, why are you doing that?
It's just showing that they're. I mean, it's just
but
like,
the baby's 6 months old. What are they supporting?
Okay, if somebody put a Black Lives Matter onesie on the baby,
I think that's out of pocket too.
Oh well, I mean I
think that's out of pocket too. I don't think you should put labels on infants. Is my thing. Whether it be a Rainbow Pride label, a Black Lives Matter.
What if they put a Fly Eagles Fly onesie on the baby?
Well, you're going into something different. That's a sports team. So it's not a label to say like this is an individual thing. Like those kind of labels where you're seeking out individuality is
saying a rainbow doesn't mean that they're gay. I could wear a rainbow shirt just saying that I'm in support of pride.
Most people, like you said, most men, and this is just a double standard, and it is the way it is, whether you like it or not. Most men wouldn't walk down the street with a rainbow shirt on.
Unless they had somebody that they love and they just wanted to show that their support for that person. So somebody may be projecting or using their baby to show that same support. I don't think that's labeling the baby as being gay.
No, I don't think it's labeling the baby as being gay, but
or being a part of that community.
If you're an infant child and you grow up with rainbow colored onesies and born this gay on your shirt, and you learning on your tablet gay programs and like the way that stuff is in cartoons and movies and TV shows, it's an influence in how you want to be. You don't agree with that? If you're you learn the most you learn from 1 to 7 years old. The most in your life. You don't learn. You can study and become a doctor all you want. You don't learn as much as you do in 1 to 7 years. So if you're a kid who's crawling around in rainbow onesies and you got the two moms or the two dads and you're watching programming like that, and it's like it kind of gives you an influence on how to be, how people act, how people react, and you may fall into that, but you were persuaded the whole time.
I mean, I do agree, but just playing
devil's... I hope I'm explaining that right.
You are, but I mean, I understand what you're saying, but playing devil's advocate, you have some people that say sexuality isn't influenced. They're born that way. I don't know. In this day and age, I don't know what's true or what's not, to be honest. I don't know if, I saw a video of Dwayne Wade's child that he had put up a birthday post for Zaya, and one of the videos, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to disrespect. It's hard to say she in that situation, but Zaya looked to be 6, 7 years old, doing like this secret handshake. I don't know if that was the dad or whoever in the video, and it just made me think, like, how do you know at 6? At that time he was Zaire, right? Mm-hmm. Wanted to be a girl. So some people might say he from birth that was always in them. Some people may say something happened that influenced that change once they became a teenager. But who really knows?
I don't think that that he knew that Zaire wanted to be a girl, but I do think he probably saw tendencies at 6 years old that my older son didn't show. Possibly, that you can physically see. If a kid is growing in front of you, like, okay, you don't want to go outside and play basketball. You don't want to play with trucks. You don't want to do this or do that. You want to do more of what your mom does and like those kind of things. So you can kind of see that.
But okay, again, is it biological or is it nature or nurture? Were you born that way, or were you influenced by who you were around? Because I think if you had a son with two moms and he was dressed in, this is just my opinion, if he had if he was brought up in rainbow onesies and born this gay and was explained like what that was and his programming was that, then I think in those formidable years he would have a higher tendency to sway that way in not even knowing who he is yet, but he would have the tendency to sway that way because of who he's being raised by and what he's being shown at those ages. But you don't think if he like coochie, he's just going to want coochie?
Probably, but I'm just saying if you got a kid in rainbow onesies and you're showing them different programming and you have two dads, I don't think there's a lot of fire trucks and Tonka trucks in the house. Is all I'm saying. I don't think there's a lot of running around and breaking shit because I'm a boy and this is what boys do. And we go and pee in the corner and we, like little boys, do crazy boy shit.
That's having the assumption that two gay dads mean that both are feminine, which is not always the case.
That's true.
So that's an assumption there that, I mean, I can think, I know of a gay couple, they're married and they have 2, maybe 3 adopted sons, and I've never been around them, but I don't think they're raising their sons. Their sons see that they have two dads.
Do you think two dads and one not being feminine? Now, I hope I'm wording this right. Do you think that dad that's not feminine is the
feminine
is that's not feminine is the man of a straight man? Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I think so. I think so. I think just his sexual preference is different.
Okay.
I think so. I think you mean, so does he exude the same masculinity?
Yes.
And masculine qualities as a straight man?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. And I think, the other partner probably exudes more of the feminine qualities.
Okay.
So I don't think that a child being raised in a same-sex family, whether male or female, rainbow onesies, I don't think are going to influence them to be gay. I don't think that I think if there is programming where you're telling, which I don't, and it's kind of, this is double, wait, this is a double standard, because think about this. If you're raised in a male-female household family, of course, what's taught to you, whether it's directly or indirectly, is that this is what you're going to have. If you're a man, you're going to have a wife. If you're a boy, you're going to find a wife. If you're a girl, you're going to find a husband. You're going to be married. You're going to have kids. So you're not taught, at least from our generation, that there are other options. So I don't know if you're in the same sex household what those lessons are. Like, I don't know if you're taught, like, this is how life is going to be. You're going to find, because we don't typically teach our children, well, like, if it's a girl, you're going to find a husband or a wife, or if it's a boy, we don't say you're going to find a wife or a husband. We teach them that they're going to find the other sex. But I think it may be different lessons in same-sex relationships.
Right. I think the kids will be taught that you can have two dads, you can like boys, you can like
But
girls.
I don't think they're taught that's what you have to do.
No, I think that you have the option. And again, at those ages, it puts an influence in your mind. Look at it like this. It's scientific evidence and fact that if you're a man, and a lot of women have said this, if you're a man who have been raised, there's men out here who have been raised by aunts, grandmas, and moms, and have been around women their whole life, and they have female tendencies, which proves it's an influence on what you see every day and how you are. So all I'm saying is that has an influence. I'm not saying a kid will be gay, but it has an influence, because there's evidence to say that there's manly men that grow up with their grandma, their aunts and sisters, or a brother who has 8 sisters, or all these women around them. You grow up with them tendencies. No matter how manly you are, you may cry a lot. You may have like these tendencies of a woman that, and I'm not saying like they're bad, but they may show more in you because you came up around women.
But I think what you're referring to is emotional qualities rather than your sexuality. So yeah, you can be.
No, all I'm saying is there's an influence,
and I agree. Yeah,
a nature nurture thing is what I'm saying.
And I agree, but yes, as a woman, you can meet men that have those feminine qualities where He's like that. He's a baby when he gets sick, which I think is probably all men. Or he's a mama. He's a mama's boy. So you may have some of those qualities where he's ultra sensitive. Not that anything is wrong with a man being sensitive, but he's just a little bit more. But at the end of the day, he wants coochie all day long. So no matter what feminine qualities he has, his sexuality that doesn't
my point
dictate.
Was saying it's not a fact that he will be gay. All I'm saying is it may influence though.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not influencing. It may be changing his emotional qualities, but it's not changing his sexual qualities.
I got
He
you.
Don't want to bang his aunts.
I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's not influencing what he likes sexually, but
it's just making him a little more emotional.
I'm
but
just speaking about the nurture part of it. Is you can be influenced to be softer, or I don't even know if that's the right word. You can be influenced to be a little more sensitive, or a little more masculine.
Let's think about this, and this, I don't know if we got any viewers from New York, but we always talk about girls from New York are like hard. I'm talking about like
Brooklyn chicks.
like the Remy Ma type chicks.
They'll
She has evolved.
Suck my dick.
Yeah, she has evolved and is more ladylike, I think, in her presentation now. But you think about even like a Cardi B, like that hardcore, the way they talk, wearing Timbs, hanging with the dudes, like they can exude all those masculine qualities that, you know, I know you ain't gonna like, but some men, that's what they used to, that's what they drawn to. But when they get in the bedroom, they don't want no woman. So that's what I'm saying. I think those emotional qualities and those emotional attributes are one thing, but I don't think it changed. Like a girl who's raised with 6 brothers, she gonna be rough,
yeah,
but that don't mean she gonna want.
It doesn't mean that, but I think emotional attributes can influence that. But it doesn't mean that. But I think you growing up on the softer side of things and seeing things different from your 5-year-old boys at school who want to go out at recess and do shit, fall around and jump around and play tag, and you don't. You want to hang over with the girls. All I'm saying is it can influence it. It doesn't mean you're going to be gay. It might not mean anything. It's just my thought that I think that it will influence it.
Okay.
Where we at? You learn anything?
I learned a lot. That's all I've been doing is learning the last couple days. But it's primarily work related.
Okay. Well, the fans don't know, and we don't know nothing about that.
Yeah.
So like,
you don't want to learn about my job. It's like no.
We're going right to 3 grams. Ross and Envy escalate to a point where it's like not good. Like people are talking about lawsuits. Like Gunplay talking about bringing a lawsuit on Envy and iHeart because of what he said over the air. Like that might be a real thing. Like Envy got DAs.
You know where that's coming from because that's how Envy got hit.
Envy got DAs from Florida calling him about recording people without their knowledge, and they want to press charges. Like it's just a lot of.
Envy didn't record. Oh, because the other guy.
It's illegal in Florida to do that.
Right, so they want to press charge
on Gunplay, and do Envy want to play ball? Like it's just a lot going on over fucking cars.
It's over not over cars. You know what it is? It's over men's ego.
If a lawsuit gets brung up on iHeart, like really, bro, over some shit on the radio, like
it's over men's ego. That's what it started from, and I think now they're just egging it on because Envy, he got his millions of dollars. I don't want to attribute all of his success to that because he has worked hard, but he got a jump start when he sued the radio because of them saying something about, his children. But see, where I think this ain't gonna go but so far, he didn't directly speak negatively of this person.
No.
So, like all he said was, you ain't helping your friend. And your friend is asking for help. That's basically what it was saying. So that wasn't anything negative. They're pushing it. They really, really are pushing it. But
big companies scare easily. They settle things that'll be a mark on the jacket. Like,
it went way too far. And the culprit was men's egos. It wasn't just the cars. It was men's egos.
And beige rage is a real thing. I used to just not pay no attention to that about light-skinned people, but light-skinned people are a little bit more sensitive than dark-skinned people. It is true. It seems like it in men. I don't know about women or whether you pay attention to it, but I can speak on this. And men, it seems like light-skinned dudes are a little bit more sensitive than dark-skinned dudes.
Maybe it's the Caucasian influence.
But if they can be all black.
But there's some Caucasian influence. That's why they're light.
Yeah, but they could come from a black mom and a black dad.
But they got a great granddaddy
was
somewhere.
Fucking 100 years ago.
Those trickles of blood. I'm just saying. So I don't know. I hear what you're saying. It's but when you say that, I think Envy was having fun with it. I think Ross was the one that went too far.
So
when he added his family.
To say, I'm the biggest boss, diabetes, I'm the biggest boss, high blood pressure, that's what you're about. That's not going too far?
I can't speak on that because I don't have any health conditions, so I can't say how I would feel.
But I'm just saying, outside looking at talking about a person who went too far to a person who has seizures and has health conditions, is that not going too far to bring up a person's health conditions? That's like arguing with a person with AIDS and saying that's why you got AIDS.
So wait, do we know that he has diabetes and high blood pressure?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, maybe it is. I don't want to downplay it.
What if Rick Ross dies from a diabetic a coma or something? That'll be a drop or a recorded line on forever.
I didn't. I mean, again, I don't want to downplay it. Maybe that's a fault of mine. Maybe because those things are so common in our community, I didn't even like think like, okay, so what? It ain't a big deal, but it really is a big deal. I guess you know,
diabetes will take your foot.
I know the disease itself, but I didn't look at him saying that as being a big deal. So maybe it is.
I wish they could. They know each other, and I wish that they all could talk and settle it out as black men. I don't want to see nobody get hurt. I don't want to see nobody fight. It went too far. Should some people be checked because it went too far and some things were said? Yes, but it should be over with. Like, it's going way too far when you start talking about lawsuits and do you want to press charges about people being called and recorded. Like, it's not that deep. Nobody got hurt yet. Nobody did anything wrong. Like, nobody put hands on anybody. So it's fixable. So just like, you know, I'd like to see it stop. Like, it went way too, it was fun in the beginning. It just went way too far.
I will say I had to rethink. I do think Ross was the one that went too far too first. Because even if Envy went too far with talking about his medical conditions, he should have came back at Envy. When he added his wife in the picture, that was too far.
That's plausible.
So he should, if you felt like him talking about your medical conditions was over the line, then you should have do your research, come back at him, find something about him. But you don't talk about people's wives or spouses in general. Because if I was a woman, don't put my husband in it.
Right.
So.
Second gram. 4 choices: red pill, blue pill, yellow pill, black pill. Red pill, be rich. Blue pill, bring back someone that died. Yellow pill, never feel pain. Black pill, never catch a disease.
Wow, that's deep. So I wouldn't go with the first one, be rich, because you never know what that can
rich
bring
don't
on.
mean rich health.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't want to bring anybody back from the dead because everybody has to die, and then if they die again, it's just going to bring back the sadness all over again. So let me just continue to heal from them dying, because I bring them back and they die next month. Now it's painful again.
Mm-hmm.
No pain. That's what I'm thinking about. But if you never feel any pain, then will you know what it feels like to feel good? Maybe. And then no disease. I'm going to say no disease, because even though I don't have any, if I knew that I would never get cancer, if I knew I would never get diabetes, so I'm going to go with black pill.
Yeah, I'm going to go black pill too.
Yeah.
I definitely would go black pill. Yeah. Fuck that money. Fuck bringing back somebody, although I would love to have fucking my Nana. I would love to have a conversation with her and talk to her. I would love for her to sit in my house and eat food that we made, and you know,
I would love to take Shirley
go
garage
get her some beers and stuff like that. Like, I would love that stuff. But to never feel pain, that's like kind of superhero-ish. Like, I wouldn't want that. Again, sometimes
I don't feel that much pain.
When things hurt, I want to feel it. I want to feel pain, whether it be emotional pain or physical pain. Yeah. Like, I want to feel my feels and go through what I'm supposed to so I can get right on the other side of it. But never catching a disease, yeah, I'm down with that. So I'm black pill all day.
You think about,
to know, like, disease, to know cancer, you never gonna get heart disease or cancer or
diabetes, high blood pressure,
hypertension, like MS, ALS, like any of that stuff. Like,
black pill me, please.
Yeah, I would definitely black pill. What pill would y'all take out there? It was, again, red pill to be rich, blue pill to bring back somebody from the dead, yellow pill never to feel pain, and black pill never to catch a disease.
Yeah, we're gonna put that up as a poll question.
Last gram. The weather's getting hot, okay? Summertime is coming. Just down Penn's Landing, how they changed up all the nice shit down there. You got 300 to 500 kids running around down there, slapping people hats off, knocking people ice cream out their hand, pushing kids down, pushing people out of hammocks, terrorizing families, right? And that's just not the way that we should kick the summer off, with these groups of these mob flashes of kids terrorizing people. Somebody gonna get fucking hurt and somebody gonna get killed. because you're gonna have the wrong person out there. Everybody got guns. The weather about to be 90, so just keep that in mind and move accordingly. I don't know. At an older age, it's like, what do you do with 500 kids who run through a crowd of 1,000 families trying to have fun, and they knocking fucking ice cream out of kids' hands and smacking people hats off their head and pushing people down and knocking people out of hammocks? Like, what the fuck do you do? And you can miss me with all that. All these kids got mental issues and they need to be talked to. Like, no, it's 500 fucking kids. Like, we need to beat some ass.
And also, parents, you need to know where the hell your kids are. And my perspective is a little different because I wasn't allowed to go off the block until I was 16, 17. Well, I'm lying, really like 17. So, I mean, it's a little different for me, but parents, where are your kids?
You had a dad down there, I heard, that was protecting his family, his wife and his 2 daughters, and 4 or 5 teenagers just pushing him around. Like, what the fuck is he supposed to do? Get jumped and stomped out in front of his daughters and his wife? Or, like, how is he supposed to protect his kids? Is he supposed to hurt one of y'all? Like, to let y'all know I'm not playing and this is my family we talking about? Like, your wife and kids over here screaming and crying. I don't know what the fuck going on. Hundreds of kids around you, and like, you trying to protect them, but you don't know what to do.
Not only that, parents need to teach
smacking
their kids
people's
how to
ice cream and water ice
how
out
to be
hand.
A leader. Like, you need to have one of your friends in the crowd. Like, nah, that ain't cool. Leave them alone. Like, y'all want to run around, have fun, run up and down the streets in Center City acting like animals. But you need to have somebody that has some sense to say, nah, that ain't cool. Don't do that. Nah, that you going too far. Leave them alone. Like, somebody got to not be a leader. Got to not be a follower.
But what do you do, babe? You out, whatever, like having a brunch or a fucking a dinner or whatever, and fucking 300 kids run up and push you down.
Yeah, we're
gonna fight 10 girls kids. Jumping on you and shit. Like, what can you do?
We're gonna fight some kids. Yeah, we probably get beat up, but 2 or 3 of them gonna
get. But I'm just saying, like, these kids are sending adults to the hospital. Like, you get stomped out. Like, and it's gonna be a kid in the hospital you can't win. To me.
I understand they're gonna get you, but you gotta get
you can't win. It's
while they stomping you, you gotta be one underneath.
What if you get knocked the fuck out and you don't know what's going on? You wake up in an ambulance.
I understand all that, like
and you ain't getting no kid.
Let me tell you, it's not going to stop until it impacts the economy in Philadelphia. It's not going to stop because
what do you mean by that? Like, if stores close, if people's like, what does that mean? If people stop
stores
coming out
close,
to buy shit?
Exactly, all of the above. If stores start closing early, because
everybody got guns. Who the fuck? And they want to use them. Who gonna stay in the house because kids outside?
No, I'm not talking about people from the hood. The real money comes from Philadelphia is a tourist destination. The other day on the news, Memorial Day weekend, this couple was talking. They were driving up. I don't know from where. They were driving up to New York City. The girl said, we seen a sign for Philadelphia, and I had never been to Philadelphia, and he has, meaning her boyfriend. So we decided to stop and tour the city. Who does that? People who don't really have a destination.
It's a historical city. The Liberty Bell and all that shit.
Not just historical. Yes, the Liberty Bell, but it is a hot spot. Right. All the restaurants in Philadelphia. So people are coming into the city for that stuff. Coming from New Jersey, Delaware, coming from the suburbs. When they stop and these restaurants start taking their money back out to the suburbs and opening their businesses there, and people start going back to the suburbs to enjoy their time, and Philadelphia becomes like, people say like, well, now they're starting to rebuild downtown Detroit, but people used to say downtown Detroit looked like a ghost town.
Yeah.
When Philadelphia starts looking like that, that's when they'll start making differences.
Different situation though. The car people left and that fucked them all up.
I mean, I know, I get that, but what I'm saying is when the economy is impacted, that's when the city will make a change. So the economy
is Center City and the restaurant. So you're saying if the
restaurants,
Ruth's Chris's and Morton's and Del Frisco's and all them stop serving people because kids running down Chestnut Street, if they close up, that's going to force
not
people.
So much stop serving people. If people stop coming to those restaurants,
right? Because
then the restaurants will have to close. Yes, I mean, we already see Steak 48 and some of the pushback they were giving about the
clientele.
The clientele. Yeah. So when other businesses start losing out on money because people aren't coming there anymore, and they stop this, because for years, there have been so many restaurants opening in Center City because it's become this hot spot. It's become so gentrified. It's like the place to go.
I agree with that, but I think that will take a little longer. I think a kid getting hurt will be sooner and more eye opening to the city. I think some kids getting hurt, shot, killed. Sorry to say, but somebody protected, like that man was protecting his family, didn't know what to do, being shoved around by 10 kids. If he had a gun and shot one of them, it would be an uproar in the city. Because it would be, what was going on? They was about to jump him and his family. He shot one, or he shot, it's going to be something where a kid gets hurt that will affect change faster than the business is moving.
They may happen
because that can happen
simultaneously.
tomorrow. If they do another mob, a kid could get hurt. A business moving, that's going to be over time.
But you think about this. Okay, they did a mob. It's the beginning. The summer ain't even really hit, but Memorial Day is looked at as like the inaugural summer weekend. So what's going to happen 4th of July when you got half the number of tourists coming down there? These restaurants going to be like, ho, ho, ho. People ain't showing up. Because
if that's the case, yeah.
Yeah, because if they keep hearing about stuff happening, people are not going to want to go there.
Or it could be a situation like over Memorial Day weekend in Chicago, 59 people shot and 14 people dead. Like if we start having weekends like that, yeah, some shit will change.
But that's happening in the hood. I'm talking about the economy in terms of Center City.
Do you think that stuff will just leave all of a sudden, like faster than somebody getting hurt?
Do I think what's the...
Like to affect change.
I think people will stop coming to Philadelphia. I think if the violence continues, because you think about it before, this violence, we've been seeing this uptick in violence in the hood. Now we're seeing this spill into Center City. So people were still coming into Center City because they knew not to go to West Philly. They knew not to go to North Philly. But they were still going into Center City. Now that the riffraff is coming into Center City, I don't think, if it continues the way that it has, I don't think people are going to continue to come into Center City. So I don't think the businesses are just going to decide to leave. I think they're going to have to leave. Yeah.
And it's summertime and they're supposed to be making money. Well, it'll be people that'll trickle down to Northern Liberties and maybe not so deep into Center City.
And that's the thing too. That's the scary part about it. It's like, you don't know where the hell these kids gonna show up. Yeah. They can show up and you talk about all this outdoor dining, people out there having a good time. That they're not taking away. And then people come, and then you got a bunch of kids coming and swarming tables while you sitting out there eating. Are you serious?
Flipping fucking people's plates, like.
People are not going to want to come to your
knocking
restaurant.
People's hats off their head, like, you touching me.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you doing? And you 14. Like, what am I supposed? I'll choke the shit out of a kid. I swear to God.
People ain't gonna want to come to the restaurant.
Like 10 of y'all can jump me. I swear to God, I'm gonna be holding somebody's neck to their man. Look.
Exactly. When they take me to the hospital, they gonna be like, you gotta let the kid go because I'm holding on to one of y'all while. The rest of y'all do what y'all think y'all gonna do.
That's a wrap. Act 2 the podcast, episode 125 in the books. Wow. Little movement here. Y'all would have seen this. It's like ghosts. Act 2 the podcast. Y'all can catch us on act2thepodcast.com, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Breaker, Anchor, Google Podcast, Spotify, Facebook, and YouTube. And again, I checked this week. We're still there. It's your boy International Walt.
It's your girl Tasha, co-host for the most.
If you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, you should. Peace.